Good evening. If we could all please take our seats. We have a special treat for you this evening. If we could all just take our seats, please. Thank you. Before we start our actual program, you've heard the drum call. May I have your attention, please? Hello. We are ready to begin. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome. We are ready to begin. Before we actually begin our program, you've heard a drum call by Timothy Diop Robinson. And now we have Queen Mother Ayoka from the Ayoka family, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, with connections and reverence to Ghana, West Africa. Many of you know her as Mama Yoga. Her name is also Samut A. Scott. She will come now with libations.
Thank you, dear. Thank you so much. All right. Good evening, everyone. Can I move this a little closer? How's that? I like to be up and close, up and personal. Everybody with me? Can you hear me? So first, I would like to give thanks and praise to God for our ancestor struggle and for the shoulders that we stand on for each of us, no matter your cultural purview, have ancestors who have paved the way for you to be in the positions that you're in. It's not because you're so fabulous and wonderful. It's because your people sacrificed what they needed to sacrifice. It's to why you're in the position that you're in. And so, to that end, I want to say, give thanks and praise and honor to all of our traditions that are present. I want to give praise and honor before I start libation to the fabulousness of the African American Cultural Collaborative of Mercer County, headed by the dynamic team and the leader and vision of our dear Latarsha Williams Burke. Y'all got to give it up for her and the team. I would like to thank our mayor, the fabulous and flawless, like that tie, Reed Gutierrez. I hope I said your name right, sir, kind sir. And all of the other politicians and dignitaries who are here. You are our leaders, and we look to you for leadership, and trust we're going to hold you to it. Okay, so libation. Libation is a tradition across all indigenous cultures. It's not just an African thing. It is across Asian cultures. It is across the European cultures, the Celtics, and the Scottish. Libation is a reverence and an honor for, as I said previously, those ancestors who paved the way for you to have the blessings of your life that you enjoy. And so this libation will be a commemorative libation, right? It will not be a religious or spiritual invocation, as many libations are, but it will be a reverence and commemoration libation so that each person here, if they so desire, can reflect on their ancestry and the goodness in your ancestry. Not drunken Uncle Willie. We don't want to necessarily think about him. Unless he's the one who made all the money. Come on here now. You got to give Uncle Willie his due if he made the money. Are y'all with me? Y'all all right out there? All right, they said I'm representing Philly, but y'all know I'm from Trenton, right up the street around the corner here. I see some of my neighbors in the audience. Hey, y'all. So we're going to pour libation. In some traditions, it is poured with alcohol, right? We won't be doing that here today. We got some good old regular, what is this, Poland Springs, Deer Park, whatever you're going to have with your meal, right? And so as I pour libation, water is a universal median, right? Water is the largest body force of energy on the planet, right? Water makes up 70 to 80% of our physical bodies. So we use water because water is the universal nourisher. And then we pour libation into the earth. Now, we could all go down there to the grass and make a big circle, but that might be too woo-woo for some people and too kumbaya, and folks look comfortable in their chair. Are y'all with me? I'm like a minister. I need call and response. If I say y'all with me, I need somebody to say, yeah, Mama Yoga. All right now. Or mm-hmm. Or something. Okay, or just raise your hand or take a picture. Right. So we're going to pour libation. As I pour libation, reflect on the people who you know that have been significant to your life, that have now passed on to the heavens and to, some may say other worlds, but they're not here with you in the flesh. You can think of this type of libation like you have grandmom's picture on the wall. And when you walk by it, you smile. Or you remember that time she hit you with the spoon. Or you remember, some lovely other thing about your grandmother. It's the same kind of dynamic here. Does that make sense for everyone? Okay. And so the reason we open programs is because we don't ever want to forget the struggle, but not just the struggle, the greatness that our various traditions and ancestry have left us. We don't always want to be talking about how hard they had it. What about the good, right? And that's what we want to focus on. Okay. So I'm going to call in response. I'm going to say, I go. Your response is, I may. Let's try it. I go. I go. I go. I go is, please pay attention, for I have something to share with you. I may is, I am listening. What do you want to say? Loosely translated. Let's try that again. I go. Okay. Call and response. I'm going to say something different. I like vegetables. Just say yes. I throw that in there. Some of y'all look a little sleepy. Okay. So, all right. So we'll begin. Ready? I go. I go. I go. We'll begin now by pouring libation. Please stand in reverence and respect. If you can't stand, it's okay. You can stay seated. We pour libation into this plant, letting it represent all the goodness that the earth has given us. Ashe. We pour libation into this plant. You can say Ashe after me if you like. We pour libation into this plant, letting it represent the eternal, infinite, universal ties to those who came before us. Ashe. We pour libation into this earth, let it represent all the struggles and challenges that our ancestors went through for us to be in the position that we are now. Ashe. We pour libation into this earth, that it remind us that from the soil we come and to the soil we shall return. May our works here in this lifetime be nourishing, uplifting, and abundantly empowering to those who cross our path. Ashe. We pour libation into this earth in recognition of all of the captured Africans who were brought across the Atlantic and endured the transatlantic slave trade. Ashe. We pour libation into this earth, recognizing that their sacrifice did not end once they landed on the shores of North America. Ashe. Their sacrifice did not end once they landed throughout the Caribbean Isles and South America. Ashe. Their sacrifice has not ended with the abolishment of enslavement of human beings in this Western world. Ashe. Their sacrifice has not ended with the fight for justice during Jim Crow and the Civil Rights era. Ashe. Their sacrifice has not ended as we gather today and celebrate and commemorate the understanding of Juneteenth. Ashe. And their sacrifice has not ended and fallen on deaf ears as we move forward in this current day and time to exact, encourage, and support justice for all peoples. Ashe. Their sacrifice has not ended as we acknowledge that we are standing on the shoulders of those who have gone before us, and may the works that we do encourage the next generation to reach up and excel in excellence, that they may be pouring libation to our memory someday. Ashe. Now, at this time, I'd like for each of you, if you would like, to call out an ancestor in your line or a cultural community ancestor who meant something to you. Sometimes you can read someone's work on their biography and it changes your life, right? So I'll give you a second or two to think about that, which you should have been thinking about it when I first got up here. But we'll go along with it, okay? Ashe, Harriet Tubman. Anybody? I can't hear you. All right. Ashe. 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 Anybody else? Ashe. My own family member, Grace Womack. You can call your own family if you like, who's not here anymore. Ashe. 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 Absolutely. Okay, so we have just poured libation, which sets the tone and keeps in our forefront of our mind what we're doing here. You know, it is not just that we are gathering to celebrate the wonderful vision and, you know, agreeance of our political leaders by signing this into office, but it is also a long-standing struggle for justice, which I'm confident will be coming to an end sooner than later. Thank you all so much. Peace and love.
Thank you, Mama Yoga. And now I'm going to call up Reverend Simeon Spencer for our invocation. While he's coming, can you hear me? Okay. While he's coming, I just want to give some housekeeping. If in the event you need to use the restroom, you need to utilize the stairs here to my left, use the main entrance, and then you'll see signs for the restroom. When it is time for us to have our dinner, please also use the side steps to both come up and also to exit. We just want to ensure that we avoid the area up here where the equipment has been set up. Okay? Reverend Spencer, the pastor of the Union Baptist Church here in the city of Trenton, my pastor, Simeon D. Spencer.
Let us pray. Gracious and eternal God, we thank you for this beautiful evening. Our hearts are filled with gratitude. Our hearts are filled with celebration. We thank you even now for the presence of ancestors who watch from the grandstand of glory. And we thank you for elders yet with us, elders like Opal Lee, who literally would not stop walking and talking until this day, this weekend, this commemoration of words of freedom sent to the sons and daughters of slaves was proclaimed. Thank you, O God, for those who continue to stand on the front lines of leadership. Thank you. Bless our president. Bless our congresspeople. Bless those, O God, in this space who give of themselves for public service. And then, O God, we ask you now, as we celebrate, to yet send words of freedom. God, send word that we are free from voter suppression. Send word that we are free from police brutality. Send word that we are free from the widening gap between the haves and the have-nots. Send word that we are free from a prison industrial complex. God, send word that we are free from every system, every institution, every phobia that would enslave your good and free creation. For that and who you have set free will be free and free indeed. Hear our prayer, bless our celebration, speak to our hearts, give us strength to run on and see what the end shall be. In your manifold great names we pray. Amen and amen.
Thank you, Reverend Spencer. And now, good evening. Good evening, and welcome. Welcome to Trenton, our capital city, here in the beautiful Garden State, New Jersey. Truly, Trenton makes and the world takes. Trenton is making history this evening. And the world can take notice as shifts across the nation have occurred within the past 48 hours alone in honor of what we celebrate here today, Juneteenth. I'm Helen Walker, Publicity Chair for the African American Culture Collaborative of Mercer County. On behalf of my phenomenal Executive Director, Latarsha Burke, the entire board and team of the collaborative, along with our partners, the 15th Legislative District's Senator Shirley Turner, Assemblywoman Verlena Reynolds Jackson, Assemblyman Anthony Varelli, and Outdoor Equity Alliance's Executive Director, Lisa Wolf, and team, I bring you the warmest greetings ever on this hot day in June. Thank you. We are gathered here this evening in the midst of history. For the first time in the state of New Jersey, Juneteenth is being celebrated today right here on these steps of the historic War Memorial Building. We are officially kicking off the city's 3-day celebration of freedom filled with empowerment, education, remembrance, collaboration, community, mobilization, and love. We are history today. So much time and effort has gone into making this weekend possible. And given the state of our world, the social unrest within our communities, and the pressing need for African American specific reform on so many levels, we needed a win and something positive to celebrate. Focusing on not only the commercial aspect of Juneteenth and the celebratory context that any holiday brings, but understanding and honoring the commemorative connotations it carries, of the enslavement and eventual freedom our ancestors endured. On September 10th, 2020, in the midst of a life-altering pandemic, while the world was shut down and we were shuttered in our homes, New Jersey's progressive governor, Phil Murphy, signed legislation S-19, which designated the third Friday of June as Juneteenth Day. A long time coming, it was the esteemed Assemblywoman Verlena Reynolds Jackson who served as primary sponsor of this new legislation. Representing our 15th legislative district, along with Senator Shirley Turner and Assemblyman Anthony Varelli, she and her colleagues were the catalyst for this step towards recognition and accountability in our state. And when the Assemblywoman trusted our executive director, along with her chief of staff, Ed Gittens, with carrying out a vision of celebration within the city, a dream was born and today fulfilled. That dream of bringing something spectacular to the capital city would not be possible without the trust and support of our amazing presenting sponsors, Wells Fargo and St. Francis Medical Center. Thank you for all your support and encouragement during this process. To our Fannie Lou Hamer Gold sponsors, Wegmans, Thomas Edison State University, and NJM Insurance Group, thank you for pouring into this vision. We extend sincere appreciation to our Shirley Chisholm Silver sponsors, Berkshire Bank and Bristol Myers Squibb. Your contribution and trust in the process has been awesome. And to our Stacey Abrams bronze sponsors, we send warm hugs and love. The African American Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey, Bank of America, Capital Health Systems, Greater Trenton, Henry J. Austin, Mercer County Education Association, Princeton Area Community Foundation, Robert Wood Johnson, and Mr. Roland Pott. Other community sponsors include Douglas H. Palmer and Associates, LLC, Princeton Chamber of Commerce, CWA Local 1031, Mrs. Tisha Goodson, and the Mercer Panhellenic Council. Thank you. We've also had amazing media sponsors. Thank you to Princeton TV, Trenton Daily, WIMG, and to our podcast family, Genova Figueroa, Annette Lartigue, and Kevin Hines. We thank you. This is us making history and bringing something amazing to our beloved city. To Mayor Reed Gassiora and the City of Trenton, along with Mercer County Parks Commission, your support has been exceptional. To our Mercer County Commissioners, we thank you. Thank you to Doug Smore and Let's Ride Foundation, along with Tennille McCoy on behalf of her father's legacy through the Samuel McCoy III Scholarship Fund, for joining our collaborative effort by aligning the Juneteenth Freedom Day ride with festivities for this weekend. The story remains the same regarding my lack of participation in this bike ride. So anyone that was at the press conference knows I gave a disclaimer and I let everybody know ahead of time. I like to support everything and everyone. But for this bike ride on tomorrow, my bike is in the shop. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it. But for all who have contributed in big ways or small, we see you and we appreciate you. To our area creators and coordinators and volunteers, are you ready? We're about to set and spark some minds and bodies and souls in the city tomorrow and on Sunday through interactive demonstrations, educational forums, entertainment, legacy building, community spending, and spectacular local and internationally known entertainment. For tonight, I send a special bag of love and an armful of kudos to our fantastic local caterers, ABC Dad Lights, and the oh-so-fancy decorating team of Tamara Smith and Tanya Stewart, It's all been worth it. Despite the wind not cooperating, we see and we are ready to commemorate Juneteenth. Thank you, one and all, for joining us here today. We pray that the next 2 days fill you with a sense of love, a wealth of knowledge, and a ton of inspiration to make sure that this day is more than a celebration for centuries to come. It is about history making, cycle breaking, wealth building, and legacies being fulfilled. What's even more symbolic as we begin this celebration, the mere irony of destiny, perseverance, hard work, faith, and favor over an organization. The African American Culture Collaborative of Mercer County. It was formerly known and birthed from the African American Pride Festival, later called the African American Cultural Festival. Then, in 2011, with the vision to become more than just a festival and a goal to educate, empower, and unite Africans in the diaspora through cultural arts, health and wellness, and entertainment and sports, via collaborations across cultures, the collaborative gained a new name and enhanced vision of unity, legacy, community, and integrity. In outlining our ability to bring quality programming to the greater Trenton Mercer County area after 10 years of hard work, dedicated volunteers, some trials, valuable lessons, and some amazing outcomes, the application making our organization as a 501c3 was granted by the federal government on June 19, 2017. Yes, you heard me. The collaborative became an official nonprofit entity on Juneteenth, just 4 years ago tomorrow. So, to be at the helm of this celebration this weekend is truly a labor of love and evidence of grace, mercy, and destiny fulfilled. Talk about a full circle. We are the circle today. We are our ancestors. And now I bring my brother, Leslie Samuel, to bring welcome and words of encouragement on behalf of the Trenton branch of the NAACP. Thank you.
Good evening. I greet you on behalf of the officers, the executive committee, and the thousands of freedom fighters who proudly represent the Trenton branch NAACP. We welcome you to this historic monument, the steps of the Trenton War Memorial in the capital city of the Fertile Garden state of New Jersey. The NAACP is the oldest, boldest, and most respected grassroots birthed civil rights organization in the world. And I'm honored to greet you on this worthy, yet misunderstood commemoration of real American history, Juneteenth. I am proud that our state, and even more recently our nation, has come to terms with the significance of the past sins levied against African peoples who built the very fabrics of what we now take for granted. Latasha Burke, you and your team have once again coordinated an amazing project. It is my hope that all who are present here today will leave this opening ceremony with a true passion for dismantling racism, disrupting inequality, and accelerating a radical change in criminal justice, healthcare, education, climate, and most importantly, the economy. The Trenton branch NAACP is on a mission to empower Black and brown communities of Mercer County. Thank you to all those who planned, supported, and managed this project. Thank you for including our membership, and we welcome each and every one of you to this evening's festivities. Thank you.
Thank you, Les. And now, our esteemed, is she here? Okay, I see her. Our esteemed Congresswoman, if you'd like to come and bring some words. Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman from the 12th Congressional District. I have to give her some pink and green love on today, too.
Hello, Trenton. We've been the first in this country on a lot of occasions. And here we are now with our first commemoration of Juneteenth Day. And it would not have happened if it were not for the brilliance, the commitment, the cultural commitment of LaTarsha Burke. So let us give her a hand. I welcome you to the 12th Congressional District, and I'm proud to be your representative. Mama Yoga said something that stuck with me. She talked about the libations, and I immediately thought about the fact that it was the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors who served at the libations in this country, who made our bricks and mortar better, who made our science better, who made our architecture better, who made our design of cities better, who made us better. And so it is fitting that finally the freeishness, you hear me? The freeishness of African slaves 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation has now been recognized. And let us not forget that freedom means our accessibility to everything under the Constitution, from schools that are globally, that teach our children a globally competitive education, from housing that is not diminished through redlining, through communities that are not disrupted by highways, by access to voting, which is unfettered, with fairness and judicial appreciation of our rights when we're confronted with law enforcement. All of those and every opportunity, including working and becoming wealthy and diminishing the wealth gap, is what we seek through our participation in this country. And so just like the slaves in Texas had to wait 2 years, we're in a waiting environment right now. But a change is going to come if we stick together. We will have access to voting. We will have a transparent and fair government. We will have participation on all levels in any contract that comes out of infrastructure programs if we stick together. And we cannot give up and we cannot grow faint. But I know the God that puts me up, wakes me up every morning and reminds me of what my calling is in life, has never failed us, will never fail us. And if we recognize the collectiveness of our power, Black women and Black men, then this country will be the country of, by, and for the people. So let us commemorate Juneteenth Day, but let us remember that it was about the waiting that we celebrated the end of. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you to our Congresswoman. Never get tired of hearing your enthusiasm. And now we have a rendition of the Black National Anthem. It is going to be shown on our video screens for those who can view the screens.
Lift every voice and sing till
No video, just
earth
listen.
and heaven ring, ring with the harmony of rejoicing. Rise high as the glistening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Let us march on till victory is won. Let us march on till victory.
I don't think the reality of this moment hit me until just now. I'm hearing that song and I'm looking out over the trees, and I'm reminded that on this morning, before 7 a.m., I believe, the Juneteenth flag was raised here in the capital city of Trenton. And if you look beyond the construction, you can see that flag underneath the American flag. And it was the effort of our 15th legislative district and Latarsha Burke that is up on today. And I have to have a candid moment with you. Today wasn't a holiday. It was a day off, which means my alarms were off. But when I tell you my phone rang at 6:42 precisely this morning, it rang and I didn't even realize what was going on. It was like it shook me. And then once I looked at the phone and I said, wait a minute, somebody just called me. When I looked to see who had called me, it was our Assemblywoman, Verlena Reynolds Jackson, who was up and out already looking for that flag this morning. So after several text messages back and forth between she, I, and the executive director, the next thing I knew, Assemblywoman was sending me a picture of the flag that had been raised here in the capital city of Trenton. So salute to you for ensuring that that flag made it here today and that it was raised. And now we will have words from our presenting sponsors. On behalf of Wells Fargo, we have Ms. Chrissy Moore, who is Senior Vice President of Community Relations. Ms. Moore?
Good evening, everyone. Let me adjust a little. Good evening, everyone. Sorry. It's a pleasure to be here with you all this evening. Again, I am Chrissy Moore, Senior Vice President of Community Relations for Wells Fargo in the Northeast. I want to start off first by thanking Latarsha Burke, as well as Helen, District 15 Representatives, Senator Shirley Turner, Assemblywoman Verlena Reynolds Jackson, Assemblyman Anthony Varelli, as well as Mayor Reed Gushora, the Outdoor Alliance, and all of the dignitaries that are here today. And certainly a shout out to Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman. Wells Fargo is thrilled to be your presenting sponsor today, along with St. Francis Medical Center, We see sponsorship of this weekend as a continuation of our commitment to the city and all of its neighborhoods, just as our 4,000 plus New Jersey employees are committed to the communities all across this state. I commend LaTarsha and the team at the African American Cultural Collaborative of Mercer County for putting this meaningful event together. It will truly be a weekend to celebrate, commemorate, and educate. Because Juneteenth represents not only a celebration of African American independence or of Black culture or of how far we've come, the day is also a reminder of the racial disparities and inequalities that still exist. In celebrating Juneteenth, we must also acknowledge this reality and work towards change. At Wells Fargo, we are inspired by the rising global consciousness of these issues in the US and around the world. We are proud of our continued commitment to fully embed diversity, equity, and inclusion into all aspects of the business and at all levels. As a company, we are committed to doing the work necessary to bring about positive change. We are working to remove barriers to financial inclusion and increase opportunities for future economic success through programs such as our Banking Inclusion Initiative. We're investing in Black-owned businesses and supporting historically Black colleges and universities. And as a graduate of an HBCU myself, and as a new member of the Wells Fargo team, I couldn't be more proud to know that. We are honored to play a role here today in making this event possible. I'd like to acknowledge and recognize my team members here from Wells Fargo. Wanda Saez, who was instrumental in this partnership, Paralee Knight, who many of you met last week, Tomas Prochuras, Vanetta Hawkins, as well as Lou Dotto. We look forward to participating in more collaborative community efforts across New Jersey. So on behalf of Wells Fargo, happy Juneteenth weekend. Let's celebrate progress, and congratulations to the African American Cultural Collaborative. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Moore. We appreciate you. And obviously, we appreciate Wells Fargo for being a presenting sponsor for Juneteenth weekend. And now, on behalf of our other presenting sponsor, we have St. Francis Medical Center. Is there a representative for St. Francis? Dr. Youngblood? He's not here? Are you speaking? Yes? Okay. Sam Frisbee is going to speak on behalf of St. Francis Medical Center. Thank you.
So it is an honor to be here today. It's also an honor, Mrs. Moore, from one Howard grad to another Howard grad, to follow you at the microphone. You know, when Dr. Youngblood called me last night and asked me if I would stand in for him today, he's unable to be here. I'm on the board at St. Francis, and it was definitely my honor. And since 1874, St. Francis has been here in the city of Trenton, working with this community, and we're still here. We haven't gone anyplace. And the St. Francis Medical Center, although the name is slightly changed and some things have changed, what hasn't changed is our commitment to the city of Trenton and commitment to the people that are here. Let me first begin by saying, LaTarsha Burke, the work that you have done here is absolutely phenomenal. We could not have done this without you. You've been here for years. Excuse me, my phone just went off and it won't stop. Thank you. You've been at this for so long. Thank you for being our Sojourner Truth. Thank you for staying the course when other people thought that this program and process was going to die. To the legislative district, the 15th legislative district, we want to say thank you for also staying the course. And to my assemblywoman, we saw your Facebook post this morning when you were out here looking for that flag. It's almost like Mary at the grave looking for Christ. You were looking for the work that you had done, and we are grateful that you were here and doing this work on our behalf in the 15th legislative district. I'm wearing two hats today, so here with St. Francis, but also as the chair of the commissioner board here. So I want to say thank you to my commissioners that are here, my vice chair, Nina Melker, and John Semino. Last year when, with the death of George Floyd, the murder of George Floyd, we were the first commissioner board in the state of New Jersey to pass a Black Lives Matter resolution. And those two stood up and said, this has to be done, when I stood up and said we wanted to do it. So thank you for being here and standing by our side and standing by the community side each and every day. You know, when we look at this and the work that is done, this is a time, this is a commemoration, but it is also a celebration for all that we have endured. It's a celebration for all that we have endured, but it is also a time for education. And so this weekend is going to be an incredible opportunity to educate our young people, to educate people in this community, to educate our allies in the community about what Black people have gone through in this country for centuries. And now we get an opportunity to share the history with you and begin to move it forward. This is a great first step, but it is not the only step we need to take. The state of New Jersey is an incredible state to live in, but it also ranks in the top 5 in some areas that we don't want to be ranked in. When it comes to housing inequities, when it comes to educational inequities. You know, there is a case in New Jersey right now where 50% of all Black children in the state of New Jersey are segregated. They go to schools where 91 to 99% of all the other students in the schools look just like them. That's an inequity that we cannot continue to have. The disproportionate economic inequities that we see in this state, we have to deal with those as well. So this is a time to commemorate, celebrate what we've been through, but now a time for education. We are glad to be here, and we are glad to be a title sponsor in this event.
Thank you so much, Mr. Frisbee, for serving dual roles today. We appreciate you. Is there representation here from another sponsor that we have, Wegmans? Is there anyone here from Wegmans? Anyone here to speak on behalf of Wegmans? Yes, come on up. As our entertainment takes the stage, we can't wait to see what you're going to do. Give a hand for our young people as they come to perform. Tell me your name. James Ellis? Okay, we have James Elf, who's going to speak on behalf of Wegmans.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. I'm James Elf. I'm the front-end manager from Wegmans. Wegmans is honored to be here today and to be a part of this amazing coming together to commemorate and celebrate Juneteenth and the emancipation of enslaved African Americans. This weekend is about acknowledging our past, celebrating the history, culture, and advancements of Black Americans, and strengthening our communities by confronting existing inequities. This year's celebration is particularly special as the first time Freedom Day is being recognized as a national and state holiday. We are proud to support this Juneteenth event and its organizers who are committed to building awareness, understanding, and appreciation of the diversity of cultures that are reflected in our communities, and to provide opportunities to acknowledge celebrations throughout the year. This has been a great opportunity for our employees to take part in giving back to their community, as well as participate in this weekend's many festivities. At Wegmans, we believe communities thrive when we all work together, and we are grateful to be a part of this wonderful celebration. Thank you all, and have a great evening, a great weekend.
Thank you so much, Mr. Elf. We appreciate you taking the time to come and share words with us and for your contribution. And now, for New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance Group, do we have representation? Come on up. I like that pink shirt. Come on. What's your name? Mike Van Wagner? And what is your title? VP of Public Affairs. Okay, we have Mr. Mike Van Wagner, VP of Public Affairs for NJM Insurance Group. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Um, it's nice to look out on so many familiar faces. One of the things I realize is that I've got to get a hold of Joe Biden's aviator glasses guy because, boy, it's bright up here. So I'll do my best. Hey, you know, I think most of you know NJM. We've been here. We started here in Trenton, and we're just a stone's throw up in Ewing now. But Trenton is very much a part of everything that we do and what we think about, and supporting the communities we serve. So when we got the outreach from LaTarsha, not this year, but back in 2011, we were proud to support the event now, and we're obviously honored and proud and so pleased to support what it's become, and of course, what we're celebrating today. You know, it feels good and it feels right that we come together tonight and this weekend as a community to reflect upon what Juneteenth is all about, and what the legacy of June 16th is, and what the promise of June 16th is. You know, it's in the words of author Annette Gordon-Reed, it's really a celebration of a people's enduring spirit, a celebration of a people's enduring spirit. And I was thinking about that as I was educated myself on Fannie Lou Hamer. That's our sponsorship level, and candidly, I did not know the background of Fannie Lou Hamer. And I may be wrong on the number, but she was the daughter of sharecroppers from the Deep South. I think the 21st child, I may be mistaken on that. Big family. But she refused to be held down. And from that place, she ended up testifying in front of Congress. And you know, she's got that phrase you've probably heard, maybe you've repeated, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. But can you imagine a girl born into a family of sharecroppers who one day testifies in the U.S. Congress? Wow. She's an inspiration, and I'm glad I've had the chance to get to know that history. We're so excited about the weekend ahead, and we want to say thanks. You've heard this a lot, but I think you can't say it enough. The African American Cultural Collaborative, the Outdoor Equity Alliance, and of course our 15th Legislative District members. And I see Senator Turner. Good evening, Senator Turner, Assemblywoman Reynolds Jackson, and of course Assemblyman Varelli. And of course it comes as no surprise to me, Assemblywoman, that you are up this morning with your camera and in posting. It's our pleasure. You know, I want to take a special opportunity too, as others have done, because it's appropriate to give a shout out to LaTarsha Burke. You know, it didn't start this year. It started a long time ago, as Sam Frisbee referenced, as the African American Pride Festival. Actually, Carol, I think, mentioned that. Sam built upon it. When an idea was hatched, we should be celebrating a history. We should be celebrating a culture. And that first year, they drew 5,000 people to Cadwalder Park. LaTarsha, thank you. This is not the end of your legacy. My goodness, I know you got a lot in front of you, but this is your legacy and your team's legacy, and you should be rightfully proud of that. So thank you. So we're looking forward to a great weekend. We're looking forward to being here as NJM in Mill Hill Park, but these streets are going to be alive with education, with entertainment, with inspiration. So, and our city needs this. This is so important and it's so meaningful. So thanks again to the collaborative and all of the other people who've worked so hard to make this a success. We are honored and delighted to be a part of this, and you can count on us to continue to be a part of it as long as you have this event, LaTarsha.
Thank you so much. And pardon my interruption, I'm going back and forth because we have been trying to ensure that this is being broadcast live on our Facebook page. And now we are officially live on the Culture Collaborative's Facebook page. So in between speaking, if you just want to hit that page and do some likes, that would be great for us. Okay. So now we are going to have an overview of Juneteenth, and we're going to get to our dinner. If you just bear with us for about 10 more minutes, we're going to have an overview of Juneteenth. We're going to have discussion or some brief remarks about reparations and also about the financial literacy agenda that is going to come after Juneteenth. Coming to give those presentations, we have Leslie Samuel again, Atalia Armstrong, and Mr. Palmer Richardson. They will come and speak in that order. And also Reverend Gerald Trueheart is coming with them as well.
Got to put it down for us short guys, you know. Amen. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Gerald Trueheart. I'm a member of the Trenton Board of Education. I have a slew of team of people with me from Trenton Board of Ed, but I wanted to share a quick story about a call I got from LaTarsha Williams-Burke a few weeks ago, actually about a month or so ago. We spoke about how Trenton Board of Education can be a part of the collaborative and be a partner in the collaborative work here on Juneteenth, this Juneteenth holiday that's so very important to our state, it's so very important to our legacy and our children, and so very important to our education. And so we immediately got to work at Trenton Board of Education. I chaired the Family and Community Engagement Committee, and I just want to, first of all, just so much thank the Mayor, Reed Gutierrez, Mayor, for his leadership, for Trenton Board of Education, our Board President, Addie Daniels Lane, our Vice President, Yolanda Morello Lopez, and their leadership, as well as with me tonight, we have Jean Bowie, who is with me tonight. You guys, come on up. Wilfredo Ortiz, Assistant Superintendent of Secondary, Jenny Weekling, our Chair of our Facilities Committee. We also have Teron Tice, as well as our newest member, Denise Johnson, who are part of our overall board at Trenton Board of Education. And so immediately we got to work with our committee, Family and Community Engagement Committee, under support from Wilfredo Ortiz and with support from Denise Crease, our Parent Community Engagement Specialist and our Homeless Liaison. And we said we got to put our boots on the ground and start working on the collaborative. And so Mike Toff, who is with us also tonight, our Chief Academic Officer, put in place Juneteenth resources and materials for our teachers to teach Juneteenth to our students prior to this Juneteenth weekend. And so we're big on education, of course. We want our students to have relevant, culturally relevant information on Juneteenth as part of our goal and our curriculum goal of educating the whole child and educating our students in culturally relevant information and history. And so our teachers immediately, our principals and teachers immediately went to work teaching the Juneteenth curriculum in our schools. And I remember a story from LaTarsha Williams-Burke. She called me, she said, yes, my granddaughter at Columbus School, she came home and we talked about Juneteenth. She said, yeah, I know about Juneteenth because it was taught at Columbus School. So it's so very important that we educate our students in terms of all culturally relevant curriculum and materials. And so I want to thank Mike Toff for putting that together. I want to thank Alfonso Llano, our acting superintendent, and his leadership team under Conway Johnson, Dr. Conway Johnson, our assistant superintendent, Hope Grant, our assistant superintendent of secondary, of course, Wilfredo Ortiz, our assistant superintendent of school support, Denise Crease, our community liaison, parent community liaison, and homeless liaison, as well as Jane Howard, our business administrator board secretary, our general counsel, James Roll, our executive director of human resources, James D. Nato, and all the staff and administrators in the city of Trenton. We have a resolution that we passed. We put in place a resolution here that we put together, passed on May 24th. I'm actually going to read, actually this is yours. I'm going to have Jenny come up and read this resolution and present this resolution to LaTarsha Williams-Burke and the African American Cultural Collaborative of Mercer County. Then I'll have another resolution to read on approving the partnership.
Be it resolved that the Trenton Board of Education, upon the recommendations of the Superintendent of Schools, approves a partnership with the African American Cultural Collaborative of Mercer County to participate in the Juneteenth holiday weekend commemoration on June 18th, 19th, and 20th, 2021. The goal of the collaborative is to educate, empower, and unite Africans in the diaspora through cultural arts, health and wellness, entertainment, and sports. The purpose of the event is to highlight a few very poignant and current issues through the displays of culture, collaboration, commerce, unity, and education. Signed, Addie Daniels Lane, Board President, Jane Howard, Business Administrator, Board Secretary.
Just to share very quickly some of the other work, our partner Aramark in our district is donating 1,000 lunches to our students in our literacy village. We work very closely with the literacy village under Wanda Webster Stansberry and LaTarsha Williamsburg's leadership. We're also brought tables and chairs out to help with the event. I mean, 30 or 40 chairs and tables, and also books. We have boxes and boxes of books that are culturally relevant and relevant by grade level to all of our students tomorrow at the literacy village. We also have books for adults. So if you want to come out to the Literacy Village and grab a book, you can. We welcome you to come out to that Literacy Village and be a part of it. The resolution to approve the recognition of the inaugural Juneteenth state holiday. Be it resolved that the Trenton Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, recognizes the inaugural Juneteenth state holiday. Juneteenth is a holiday celebrating the emancipation of those who have been enslaved in the United States. Originating in Galveston, Texas, it is now celebrated annually on June 19th throughout the United States with varying official recognition. It is commemorated on the anniversary date of the June 19th, 1865 announcement by Union Army General Gordon Granger proclaiming freedom from slavery in Texas. So I thank you so much, LaTarsha Williamsburg, the Cultural Collaborative, and all the sponsors and all the people here tonight. God bless you. Thank you.
Gerald. Right there. Okay. Open it up. Right on top. Right on top. Empower Mercer is the new mantra of the Trenton branch NAACP. We are moving our branch forward with a deliberate purpose to positively impact Black and Brown communities through advocacy and education. We invite each of the municipalities of Mercer County to join with the Trenton branch NAACP as we authentically fight forward. We are happy to be a part of the opening ceremony of the very first commemoration of Juneteenth as a New Jersey state holiday and now a nationally recognized holiday, an accomplishment of monumental proportion. Yet, this occasion is much more than a civil service holiday. The transcendence of Juneteenth, we believe, should forevermore be a day dedicated to the gathering and distribution of information, which renders outcomes that drastically improves the quality of life for Black and Brown people. If we commit to gathering and distributing information, we catapult the next generation of leadership. If we plant seeds of timely and purposeful information, they will blossom into real outcomes for our community's collective health and well-being. Juneteenth, we believe, should be about stopping the delay of useful information and bringing into existence a truly inclusive society with a stimulated and bolstering economy for all people. The branch would like to recognize organizational allies, such as the state of New Jersey, the county of Mercer, the Outdoor Equity Alliance, St. Francis Medical Center, Wegmans, and Wells Fargo, and so many more, each of whom are corporate pioneers to a new and improved and a stronger and more inclusive New Jersey. Thank you for moving beyond the ambiguous corporate equity statements and fighting forward with your respective organizations to a space of active advocacy in the trenches of real Black liberation. And know that true liberation only occurs when the yoke of systematic oppression of Black and brown people is publicly acknowledged, permanently shattered, and then ensuring that our people are properly repaired. On behalf of the Trenton Branch NAACP, I would like to acknowledge and celebrate our 15th District Assemblywoman, Verlena Reynolds Jackson, as a state champion of our Juneteenth holiday. Madam Assemblywoman, you rock big time. The purpose and true charge for each of our elected officials is to create policy that will improve the quality of life. Improve the quality of life for all citizens within a jurisdiction. Verlena, thank you for representing each of us well in this very important step toward Black liberation. And because of your advocacy, tomorrow we will commemorate the historic basis of Juneteenth and how that history directly impacts Black and brown communities. On June 19, 1865, General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas. His mission was to officially inform thousands who were entangled in the Confederate States institution of slavery, be it known, be it unknown to those in Galveston. They were delayed in receiving information about the Emancipation Proclamation that was enacted 30 months prior. The Galveston community must have been a smorgasbord of emotions when slaves and slave masters alike were finally informed that imported Negroes of the African race were and should have always been free. Free to live, free to love, and free to pursue happiness. So tomorrow we celebrate and emulate Juneteenth as an information sharing tradition. Justice delayed is justice denied. We must deliberately, albeit ceremoniously, honor this day as an information sharing tradition because too many Black and brown communities in the state of New Jersey are being delayed access to information that would radically improve our collective community. Juneteenth is about preventing that delay of essential information that improves our community's health and finances. The Trenton Branch NAACP will work in concert only with those whose missions are aligned with ours to demand that our municipal, our state, and our federal governments stop delaying justice and enact real police reform. We demand civilian review boards with investigative and subpoena powers. Stop the delay. It's Father's Day this Sunday. There are still Black and brown men and boys sitting in prison on trumped-up cannabis charges during a global pandemic. Stop the delay in ending mass incarceration and empower our Black American families. Stop the delay. All Americans benefit from knowing true American history. Stop delaying the proper funding of public education in Black and brown communities. The Amistad Bill became New Jersey law in 2002. It is now 19 years later. Teach that Amistad curriculum in all New Jersey curriculums. All young people who are properly educated will become adults who will properly stimulate this economy. Stop the delay. Hopefully, we can begin to further improve the lives of our community during this 2021 Juneteenth holiday and beyond. The Trenton branch NAACP is here to say, stop delaying Black liberation and empower Mercer County. Thank you.
Good evening. I am ecstatic to be here tonight, the night before Juneteenth. This is a monumental moment for me. My name is Atalia Armstrong, and I am a staunch advocate for reparations. I am also a direct descendant from the institution of United States slavery, an institution that enslaved African American people for centuries, without redress, without recompense, without even a true apology. 1865, Special Field Orders 15, an order handed down by General William Sherman, an order that specified that 40 acres and 1 mule be given to each family that was recently freed from slavery, an order that was never fully realized. In fact, it was rescinded by President Andrew Johnson and gifted to those who had went to war against their own country. In the interest of moral and ethical righteousness, there is an obligation to right wrong and anchor that obligation explicitly within policies true to the Constitution of the United States of America. Past and current day injustices make that obligation an urgent supplication for humanity, as justice delayed is justice denied. Race is often used to circumvent the why, problematic as race is constructual in foundation and does not consider, it cannot fathom the accrued disadvantages and contributions of American people. For if those considerations were at the forefront instead of race, the understanding of why reparations for African Americans are needed would be less emotional in nature and more practical in sense. The narrative has always been to reform the institutions birthed from slavery instead of transforming to include those the country never considered self-evidently equal in the first place. The plight of African American people is not happenstance, but bad policies and benign neglect. The United States government's failure to properly act during Reconstruction, Black codes, redlining, Jim Crow, war on drugs, mass incarceration, Katrina, has led to further victimization of African American people. Despite that, the contributions of African American people are vast and wide. For starters, our enslaved ancestors built the country that so many enjoy today, yet are not noted for being the infrastructural architects that they were. Inventions from the traffic light to heart surgery are often left out of the historical narratives. African Americans' influence upon music and culture thereof remains unmatched to date. And yet African American people remain on the bottom and largely unrecognized for being major contributors to the country that is touted as one of the richest in the world. This speech doesn't even touch the surface on injustices, inequalities, and oppressive policies targeted against African American people present day. Yet we now have more data to understand what the actualized consequences from being descendant from that institution are, and how the need becomes imperative to specifically carve out political, economic, and redress spaces for those who are descended from the institution of slavery, and all the accrued disadvantages thereafter, current day. If the United States is to ever repair itself beyond the stain of slavery, it must recognize the generational harm and repair the damage. By addressing the wounds and remnants of slavery, this nation moves towards becoming more inclusive, fair, and just for all citizens of the United States. This will begin the long overdue and arduous process of healing a 402-year-old wound. Reparations is not a gift, it is a debt owed, and without it, there is no way African American people will close the 225 to 228 year wealth gap, a gap that exists because of free and forced labor. For clarity as to what that year gap means, the median wealth in New Jersey is $352,000 for white households and just $6,000 for African American households. And out of the 665 billionaires in the United States, only 8 are African American. Exceptionalism will not close this wealth gap. The only thing that will close the wealth gap is reparations. I will end with the words of Martin Luther King Jr. The next time we come to Washington, D.C., we are coming to get our check. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jossie Owers, and this is...
Good evening. My name is Palmer Richardson.
And I want to start by saying that it's an honor to be here. And I want to start off with a few thank yous, to beginning with LaTarsha Williams-Burke, for this wouldn't be possible without you. To Assemblywoman Berlina Reynolds Jackson for sponsoring a bill for Juneteenth to happen on a state level. Sorry. And as of yesterday, at 3 p.m., President Joe Biden signed Juneteenth into a federal holiday. And not to mention that our fabulous and first African American woman voted into Congress in New Jersey, voted for that bill, Congresswoman Bonnie Watson-Coleman.
So again, good evening, everyone. As was stated, my name is Palmer Richardson, and again, it's an honor to be here. I know we're here to celebrate and commemorate the, I don't know if holification is a word, but I'm gonna use it, of Juneteenth. However, I would like, if I can, if I may, to take a quick moment to recognize another anniversary. This year marks the 100th year anniversary of the Tulsa bombings. Many of us arranged here are familiar with the history of that day. The tragedy, the destruction, the deaths, and yes, the injustice. In one day, hate-filled domestic terrorists burned down what took 15 years to build. However, I'm not here to lament the aftermath of those who acted to destroy. No, but to call to our attention the achievements of those who gathered to build. You see, prior to the destruction that took place on May 31st, 1921, the Greenwood District within Tulsa, Oklahoma, was a thriving center of Black commerce and enterprise. Affectionately referred to as Black Wall Street, the district was replete with Black-owned businesses ranging from banks to clothing stores to jewelers to restaurants, offices for doctors, dentists, and lawyers, and the legendary Dreamland Theater, all of which worked together to form a self-sustaining community supported almost entirely by residents of the district who purposefully, and yes, as a consequence of segregation, sought to keep money circulating in their community. Present-day studies report that the dollar circulated in the community for at least a year before venturing out. Now let's compare that to today. Today, cross-racial statistics indicate that the average lifespan of the dollar is approximately 28 days in Asian communities, 17 days in Jewish communities, 19 days in Jewish communities, and 17 days in white communities. And a whopping 6 hours in the black community. Oh, I have no problem saying it again. 6 hours in the black community. The average net worth of a typical white family in America is $170,000. The net worth of a black family, $17,000. The home ownership rate, we talked about real estate earlier, for black Americans is approximately 42 to 45%. Compare that to 73% for white Americans. So what can we do? Despite its prosperity, we understand that the Greenwood District was not indicative of the state of all black Americans during that time period. No, marred by the vestiges of the all too recent legalized enslavement of the black body, the proliferation of Jim Crow, and the birth of what would become the prison industrial complex, black Americans had and still have a way to go. However, Black Wall Street stands as an example of what our communities can be, the potential they can one day realize. So again, I ask, what can we do? As with most things, the answer begins with education. To that end, I am so excited to share that the Trenton African American Cultural Collaborative of Mercer County, together with community partners, will work to spread the importance of financial literacy. Tomorrow, we will have a table present containing resources that include books and educational materials on the subject of financial literacy, as well as opportunities to participate in future activities related to finance and investment. The materials provided will cover an array of topics to include how to build your credit, best practices for saving money, something I wish I knew in college, investment strategies, and methods to grow intergenerational wealth. As we remember and celebrate the Juneteenth holiday, let us make a conscious effort to support Black-owned businesses, not just today, not just this weekend, but every day. Now, Howard was mentioned earlier, so I'm gonna go ahead and say this. In the words of my Morehouse brother, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed. In order to gain our financial freedom, we must first demand it of ourselves, to no longer be content with just living in our communities, but to own them. Thank you.
And in closing, we would invite you out tomorrow to our legacy stage on Warren Street, where we will be demonstrating the faith that our dark past has taught us, in the hope that our present has brought us. And we would also like to thank the Trenton Board of Education for incorporating this curriculum into the Trenton community, something that we fought so hard for. And we will be giving out over 70 books tomorrow to children and adults, financial literacy books. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Truly, you are the torch and the legacy being fulfilled, and we pass it on to you to continue fighting a good fight. Thank you. At this time, before we have our local officials come up, and I know I promised that we were going to have refreshments real soon, but we want to get our entertainment on and off the stage. We were running about maybe 10 minutes behind schedule, so rather than have them wait, we're going to ask that they come at this time and perform. They were intended to perform up here on the stage, but we want you to see them. And what they have advised us is that they have the ability to actually perform in this area right here. So we are going to ask that the Universal African Drum and Dance Group of Camden, New Jersey, I'm told they're world renowned, and they are ready to perform for us. They are going to do traditional African dance and drum, and the ages range from about 3 to teenagers, you name it. We have family represented here on today. So please give a round of applause for the Universal African Drum and Dance as they come.
Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, I need a little bit more spirit than that, but it's okay because we're going to give y'all some spirit, all right? So I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who is responsible for putting on this program, and an extra special thanks to Mr. Tim Robinson, who contacted us to come and be a part of this awesome, wonderful event. Celebrating Juneteenth, the day before Juneteenth, legally celebrating. So it's an honor, privilege, and a pleasure. On behalf of my husband, Robert Dickerson, and myself, Wanda, we're the founders and directors of the Universal African Dance and Drum Ensemble. I just want to share a few things with you, and then we're going to come right down there and perform for you, okay? So first, what I want to say is that, yeah, we're here to entertain you, but we also are here to edutain you. We must imperatively teach our young people about their culture. No matter what race, creed, or color you are, you have a culture, and you should never be afraid to celebrate who you are in love and peace. And we come to you in love and peace. And just to share one more thing with you. Every 30 years in Dakar, Senegal, which is on the west coast of Africa, there's a World Arts Festival that's held, where 80 nations come and represent their countries. We were chosen by world-renowned historians, world-renowned scholars, and Africans themselves, who said we were one of the best African-American groups in America representing Africa. So they chose us to come and represent the United States of America. Thank you. And it was indeed an honor and a privilege for our young people to be able to have the opportunity to go to Africa, what we do 365 days a year. So with that being said, please, thank you very much, and put your hands together with me one more time for the Universal African Dance and Drum Ensemble. Ayama, 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 oh, ayama, 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 oh, ayama,
Ayama, ayama, ayama, ayama, ayama, ayama, oh, ayama, 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 oh, ayama, 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 oh, ayama, ayama, ayama. Ayama, 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 oh, ayama, 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 ayama. Ayama, 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 oh, ayama.
aha, Oh, yama. Hey, hey. Yama. Universal African Dance and Drum Ensemble. Universal African Dancers. Come on and put your hands together for our drummers. And just to let you guys know, this young man right here, his name is Taj. He's 7 years old. He's been playing since he was 1. And that little brother over there, his name is DJ, like Dwayne Johnson, but he ain't Dwayne Johnson, Dad. You know the actor, he not him. If he was him, you know, we'd be good. But his name is Dwayne Johnson, little Dwayne Johnson. He's 3 years old. He's been playing since he was 1. And put your hands together for young man over there playing what we call the kinkani. And his name is Alisini Bangara, and he is from Guinea, West Africa. And give it up for the young man in the middle right here playing what we call the father of the Doom Doomba. That's Sekou Musa, and he's just 19 years old. He's been in this since he was born. So give love, show your love. Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, on behalf of my husband, Robert Dickerson, and myself, Wanda, founders and directors, we thank you all, each and every one of you. Thank you so very much. God bless you. Enjoy your dinner and the rest of the program. And don't forget, it's imperative that we teach our young people about culture. No matter what race, creed, or color you are, that you have a culture. And I hope and pray that it's in love and peace. So we have to teach our young people about that because they're killing each other and that hurts. So it's important, it's imperative that we as elders, ancestors, not the ancestors, but the elders and our older people, just grab those young folks and teach them, give them some culture. So thank you. Without further ado, turn this mic over. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you. Let's give it up again for the Universal African Dance and Drum Ensemble. They are amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Certainly, the torch has been passed. We saw the baby at the bottom and the elder on the mic. We are a fabulous and wonderfully made people and full of talent. We thank you for sharing your talent with us on today. Thank you. In the interest of time, I'm just going to ask before we serve our refreshments, if Trenton's mayor can come and give us words, and after that, we will have the 15th legislative district to come up as well. And then I promise you, I promise, we will have refreshments. Coming with the mayor, we have City Council Person, Jarrell Blakely. Thank you.
Thanks so much, and good evening, Trenton. What a great event. What a great night for all of us to celebrate the diversity and the life and the spirit of this great capital city. LaTarsha, you did a great job. I know it took at least 3 years of planning, but it finally paid off. I was listening to the congressional debates about whether to make Juneteenth a holiday, and I was struck by one of the members in opposition that said we already had an Independence Day, that we celebrate July 4th, 1776. What was lost upon him that 1776, whether it was the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution, did not apply to everybody. And it was even said that the decks were so stacked against everyone that even the national anthem, the notes, Land of the Free, is so high that many people cannot even reach it. But today we note down and we see the diversity and we celebrate Juneteenth, the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th Amendments of the Constitution. We've got a long way to go, but it's great that we're all going together and we all have a mission going forward. And I want to thank my councilman, Jarrell Blakely, for coming out here and supporting everything we're doing in the city. There you go, Jarrell. Thank you. And we're united tonight.
All the time, Mayor. It's good to see everyone. My name is Jarrell Blakely, and I have the pleasure of serving as a city council member. I bring you greetings on behalf of the Municipal Council of the City of Trenton. I want to thank the founders and organizers of this amazing, incredible event. I want to give you a warm round of applause because you all thought it not robbery to bring such a fantastic festivity to the amazing state capital of New Jersey. So have a good time. Make sure you spend some money at our great, fine businesses in downtown Trenton, and I look forward to seeing everyone over the weekend. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, and to our Councilman Blakely. We are just going to put our podium back, and we are going to be having Senator Shirley Turner come first and give some warm greetings. Pink and green love to you too, Soror.
Use this. Good evening, everyone. Happy Juneteenth. We've heard it called by many names. It's been called Emancipation Day, Jubilee Day, Liberation Day, Freedom Day, but oh, happy day. This is a great day. There's an African proverb that says it takes a village to raise a child, but it also takes a village to educate a child. And it takes a village to create and organize this phenomenal weekend for Juneteenth. And we have many people to thank for that. Of course, we have LaTasha, who has done an extraordinary job organizing and working so hard, along with her committee. And we also have to thank all of our wonderful sponsors, as well as all of the community organizations. We also need to thank George Floyd, because this would not have come this quickly when the fantastic Assemblywoman Verlina Reynolds Jackson introduced the bill last year. It got to the governor's desk in record time. Sometimes bills never make it to the desk. And like it takes a village, the governor signed the bill, but he could not have signed the bill had it not been for the Assembly and the Senate. But because of what happened with George Floyd, everybody now seems to have developed a conscience. But we're not finished yet, because the celebration today for Juneteenth is not enough. We've got to bring justice and equality for all. And so little recognized is someone is Darnella Frazier. If it had not been for that young lady with her telephone, her cell phone, and using that camera, Derek Chauvin would not be behind bars today. So it takes a village in every respect for us to make progress. And we want to thank Governor Murphy, and of course, thank you too, because you had faith and confidence in him
by providing him with your vote. And that's what we have to do. Make sure that when we vote, and of course we always have to vote, make sure you're voting for the people who have your interests at heart. The same thing goes for our president, Joe Biden. You came out and you showed your support and your confidence and made him the president. So we knew when those bills hit his desk, he too is going to do what's in best for not just our interest, but the best for this country. So thank you, one and all, and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Senator Turner, and thank you to each and every one of you. We've heard the history. We've heard our call to action here today. The bill that got passed for Juneteenth wasn't one that just came out of the air. It is one that was in the assembly for some time, and it was sponsored by the late Assemblyman Green. And we have a great legacy amongst us that is still fighting for us. I'm in the path for Senator Turner and Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman, and so the charge has already been set. I'm just fulfilling the dream of our ancestors. I'm continuing to work hard out here for us. I'm a local girl. I grew up, my mom still lives 2 blocks away. I have the State House in Lobby Row as my back door, but I didn't know. I didn't know what that was until I got sick and tired of being sick and tired, and there was nobody else to do the work. And I said, and I prayed, Pastor Spencer, and I said, let me pray about this and see if this is what I'm going to do. And it was New Year's Eve that I did that, and I decided that I was going to run for local government. And everything doesn't have to be about the candidate. All of you have called and said, how can I be supportive of you? Thank you so much to the Outdoor Alliance with Lisa Wolf and everything that you do. Everything is always a partnership. Latasha Burke and I went to college together. We ate together. Her work that she does was always about the community and building. And how can we get together as a people and celebrate one another? So I feel like I'm preaching to the choir today, but choir, we have a call of action. We have time and talent and blessings that we have to share with the community. There's going to be resources out there. Don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Encourage people to become a part of what we have here going on in the capital city. It's amazing. Trenton is revitalizing. We have a great mayor. We have great legislators. I saw Assemblyman Zwicker that was here earlier. And the blessing is, we have the county executive behind us. We have parks and recreation behind us. We have the city behind us, and we have the federal. When have you seen all levels of government work together? We have a common goal and a common vision of working together and supporting one another. I want to see everybody win, but I especially want to see Black people win too. So in my Issa Rae voice, I say to you, let's win. Let's work together. Let's educate, mobilize, and as Senator Turner said, vote. But there's more to just getting the vote, because as you saw, we have a shortage in poll workers. We need you. If we register all these people and we can't have the polls open, that's another way of voter suppression. Then we got to condense the polling locations. Now you might not be able to walk there. You might have to drive there. You might have to go over to do different things. So as we say, we have a lot of voter registration drives. Stay engaged. But there's other ways to get involved. And we need you. We need board workers. We turned down the National Guard because they said, oh, we don't need them. We have enough. Guess what? We didn't. We operated an election at the very, very minimum. But I tell you, if all of you signed up here and you found somebody else to sign up, then we will have more than enough. But we need qualified people that can make sure that we can trust to sign people up, to show them how to vote. We're going to have 10-day early voting thanks to the legislature here in New Jersey. That means we're going to need more people to work the polls. So as we say, we want you to come out to vote. It's more systems to it. And so all of you, I'm sure, are qualified to be able to vote, to be a poll worker, but reach out to us, figure out how you can do that, and maybe you can pick a day when you want to vote. But we have another important election coming up on November the 2nd. So exercise your rights. This is what we've been fighting for from the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. Don't throw your vote away. Make sure you cast it and make sure you vote for people that support you and your vision. Thank you so much. Assemblyman Varelli.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Assemblyman Anthony Varelli, and it's an honor and a privilege to stand before you this evening. When I got up this morning, I checked the first thing I always do after I do my prayer meditation. I check Facebook, and I saw the Assemblywoman in her red outfit. I figured she was just getting done a jog, and they were standing underneath the flagpole, and the flag was already raised, but it wasn't blowing like it is right now, and that's a very strong statement here. Usually I am the person between dinner and or the road home, so I will be very brief. I want to thank Latarsha Burke, and her foundation, and all the people on her team. Special shout out to her husband, Andre. And I'm grateful to be a part of this. I know Assemblywoman Reynolds Jackson worked very hard, and also the Senator. Ed Gittens did a lot of work too. Ed, fantastic. Like I said, I'm humbled to be here, to be a legislator, but I'm also humbled to be here as Anthony Varelli. You know, I went to grammar school here in Trenton, was born here in Trenton, and I never left Trenton, even though I might have. My heart always stayed here. I take up the challenge every day to do the best I can for the people I represent. This gathering tonight, the Juneteenth celebration for this weekend, is spiritual in nature to me. I mean, I feel it from my Celtic ancestors. I thought of William Wallace, and freedom isn't free. It all comes at a cost. And if we're willing to fight for that and pay that cost, to move it forward and pay it forward, I think we're all here for the right reasons. And, you know, I did a little shout up this morning to make sure we had nice weather, to my understanding, my higher power, and looks like we're going to be okay, but I know individually I can't do it alone, so collectively, together we prayed, and it looks like it's going to be a beautiful weekend, and I will hopefully see all of you around the city this weekend. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you. Thank you to our 15th Legislative District. We appreciate you and all of your support. And now, just in case you're a little hungry, we are going to have refreshments courtesy of ABC Dad Lights. We're just going to ask that our front tables here are served first, and if you can remember to utilize the staircase coming up, and as well as that one going back, just to avoid the wires that are over here with our equipment. So if you'd like to come up, we've already had our prayer, we've had our libations, and we are ready to eat. Please come up. Our tables here, our sponsor tables, our mayor, city officials, legislative district, our congresswoman. And while they're coming, I just want to give a shout out to JWS Live Events. They are recording this event, and they have us live on Facebook. Again, that is JWS Live Events. Please use the staircase to my left and your right to enter and to exit with your food. We want to avoid any accidents on today. We want you all healthy and well for tomorrow's festivities. Thank you. Please be careful. There is a partition. Watch your step as you come up, please. There is a covering over the wires. Please be mindful of that when you approach the stairs.
Check 1, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, while we are out here enjoying ourselves, we would like for you to please watch your step as you're coming up and as you're coming down. We don't want anybody getting hurt. So please, as you are enjoying yourself and conversating, please watch yourself as you go down the stairs. Thank you.
Our second row of tables, if you want to begin coming up, please do so. Just watch yourself as you approach the stairs. Our second row of tables, please feel free. Our third row of tables, if you are ready, please. We welcome you up the stairs to your right and my left for refreshments. Our third row of tables, please make your way up. As soon as we're served, we are going to have a performance, and then I'm going to ask that Sunil McCoy and Lisa Wolf and Latarsha Burke prepare yourself for our closing remarks. Our third row of tables. When you come up, we have two ways to be served. There are two separate lines where you can be served. At this point, everyone should be up if you are interested in receiving refreshments. Everyone should be up. If there's anyone in our overflow seating, we welcome you now to come up for refreshments. Anyone in our overflow seating, you are welcome at this time. I want you to get together. I want you to get together. I want you to get together. Put your hands together one time. I want you to get together. 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 Put your hands together one time. I want you to get together. I want you to get together. I want you to get Put your hands together one time. I want you to get together. 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 I want you to get together.
I want you to get together. Put your hands together one time. I want you to get together. I want you to get together. I want you to get I want you to get together. 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 Put your hands together one time. I want you to get together. 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 Put your hands together one time. I want you to get together.
Is Leslie Samuel around? We need you. While Leslie is coming, I'm just going to ask that Tanil McCoy, if she will come and bring us greetings on behalf of the Juneteenth Freedom Day Ride. And she is specifically representing her father's scholarship fund, the Samuel McCoy III Scholarship Fund. Ms. McCoy? And we will have a performance when she is done. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. My name is Tanil McCoy, and I am the chair of the Sam McCoy III Scholarship Fund. So the COVID pandemic highlighted a long-standing health disparities throughout our country as well as in the Black community. The virus was a pulling thread that illustrated those extremely altered environments in which we live due to our social and economic structures, which is unacceptable and inequitable. As we pulled those threads, we showcased a pattern that have been a long known pattern by the public health community. And during COVID, like many of you, I was stuck home. And so I had to create an outlet that preserved and protected my mental and physical health. And that was cycling. And so it's funny, I do see the Commissioner, Sam Frisbee. We actually had a conversation about bringing back the core state ride, cycle ride that rode through Trenton many years. And so my partner, Doug Smar, and I, we launched the Let's Ride campaign. And the significance of choosing Juneteenth holiday was to highlight the importance of the day and also educate and attract minorities to reach their health and wellness goals through cycling. With your continued support and your partnership, we can bring awareness and reduce the health disparities in the Black community. So we are excited about our inaugural ride, our Juneteenth Freedom Day ride, and we already have close to 200 riders for tomorrow morning. As many of you know, my father passed away in 2018. And my father, Samuel McCoy III, coached baseball for over 40 years in North Trenton and also for Babe Ruth. My father's legacy and the community impact will continue to thrive through his scholarship fund. Our proceeds will establish 3 scholarships in Mercer County. One of those scholarships are earmarked for a student that resides in North Trenton. So there is no better way to help education than for the community to come together to be able to go along and do a bike ride, cheering and smiling, and helping others feel motivated. There is joy in riding bikes and raising funds for scholarships that make me happy. So the day of registration starts at 7 a.m. There are 3 levels, the 8-mile, the 30-mile, and the 50-mile, and wheels are down at 8:30. I'm really excited that our own Assemblywoman, Verlena Reynolds Jackson, will be leading the 8-mile, as well as, yes, Assemblywoman, as well as our Assemblyman, Wayne D'Angelo, and our Mayor, Reed Gassiori. So I'm really excited for this ride on tomorrow, and I want to be able to thank our sponsors, Wegmans, which was our community sponsor, and provided all of our snacks, our lunches, also to Union Baptist and also to St. Philip's Baptist Church. They provided our water and Gatorade, to the Trenton Y, to the Douglas H. Palmer Literacy Foundation, to Hughes Funeral Home, the Deltas, the Kappas, Trenton Parking Authority, ABS, Mercer County Park Commission, Outdoor Equity Alliance, Trenton Cycle Revolution, Eric Jackson, and John Harmon. I also would like to thank our police escorts, because this could not happen without our local police department, Hamilton, Lawrence, Trenton, Hopewell, and Ewing. I also would like to thank our Mercer County Sheriff officers. Thank you so much for your support. And last but not least, I would like to thank Latasha and to Ed Gittens. Your partnership on this ride was absolutely incredible. I've enjoyed working with you both. And Latasha, I actually have some flowers at the table for you. Ed, I ordered a t-shirt to say, I am the man, because Ed was the glue. Ed was the glue to this project, and we really do appreciate you. Thank you guys so much.
All right. On behalf of the Trenton Branch NAACP, a part of the NAACP is an awesome program for high school youth. It's called ACT-SO, and it's an acronym for Afro-Academic, Cultural, Technological, Scientific Olympics. Ultimately, it's a competition, but it's a competition not in sports. It's a competition in academics, and it's a competition in artistic talents. So I wanted to provide a little treat for you this evening. One of our ACT-SO alum, her name is Jasmine Livingston. She is currently a sophomore at, it's gonna hurt me to say it, HU, Howard University. See, I went to Hampton, so I don't want to call it the real HU, but it's HU. And she's a 2020 high school graduate, and as I said before, an ACT-SO alum, and she's gonna bless your ears, she's gonna bless your hearts with spoken word. Jasmine Livingston.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Jasmine Livingston, like he said, and I'm really honored to be here today. So I wrote something that I'm really proud to read for you guys today. And this is my spoken word for Juneteenth. Have you seen it? These past few months on the news, did you hear it? The way he cried out for his mother when he said he couldn't breathe because of the pressure of their neck and their knee. Did you see the Black bodies piled in the streets, fighting for basic rights and equality, asking America to finally just take accountability? This history, written in the blood of my people, written in the blood of so many people that have been tried to be erased, while this world feels like it's falling apart, battling between two diseases, one of the lungs and racism, one of the heart. I will not let my people be erased. For these next few days, we gather and we have come to celebrate a new, sorta, kinda, maybe holiday. I say sorta, kinda, maybe because this isn't Christmas or Halloween. I say sorta, kinda, maybe because it's not even something in between. This is the day that my people were set free from physical slavery. This day off shouldn't just be about food and celebration. No, this day off is time for us to come together and listen to the voices that have been silenced and to find the truth in the stories that have been inaccurately rewritten. We as a nation are systematically broken, living off of the work of a people stolen. But we don't have to be this way. Our future doesn't need to be as stained as our dark history. We don't have to repeat the misery. We can move forward together into something brighter, but only if we are willing to not only change things on paper, but also change them internally. It's time to start putting our words to action and start enacting the policies that are going to push the things that we say we want to happen. It's time to start teaching Black studies to students in schools. I shouldn't have to wait to learn about my history until I'm at my HBCU. It's time to not only fight for fair and equal voting rights, but also to start teaching our communities why it's important on every level. Don't just use this day to sing our songs and to sell our cloths at big corporations. Take this day to listen, to teach, and to use your power to fight against the racism in our nation. And I'm not just talking about the power within our legislation. I'm talking about you, the people, have the power to change things. Let this sorta, kinda, maybe holiday be more than just a long weekend vacation. Our kids need us. Our communities won't survive without us, and our future depends on us. On this Juneteenth, one that will proudly go down in the history books for our children to read, we honor the lives that we have unjustly and too soon lost, a list that is too long to say, and the lives we continue to fight for every day. This Juneteenth and every one after it will be more than just a sorta, kinda, maybe holiday. Thank you.
You know.
More than just a sorta, kinda, maybe holiday. Let's give it up again for Jasmine. Jasmine Livingston, she was amazing. Again, the torch is being passed to our young folks. Now I'm going to ask that one of the individuals who is also responsible for this event, the Outdoor Equity Alliance, going to ask that their executive director, Lisa Wolf, come and bring greetings as well.
Okay, I'll be your shortest speaker for the day. I appreciate you guys inviting me here. You all can hear me okay, right? Okay. So the Outdoor Equity Alliance is really happy to be a part of this. I am here as the co-founder. My co-founder, Aaron Watson, was also here earlier, but he had to leave, so I just wanted to speak on behalf of him as well. The Outdoor Equity Alliance seeks racial justice by promoting equitable access to our lands, programs, and career opportunities. And our weekend activities will celebrate Juneteenth with reflecting on its associated history. I also wanted to share that the reason that I think that this Juneteenth weekend specifically is going to be so amazing is because it was envisioned and implemented by the people whose history is being told. And that's our model at the Outdoor Equity Alliance, and it's the model here. And it should be everyone's model that the people who are affected by initiatives should have a voice and opportunity in developing the plans and programs that may affect them. And that hasn't always been the case. The same is true of history. The people telling the history should be the ones who are should have a voice in the history that you guys know what I mean, okay? What I'm saying is the history that's been told for hundreds of years has been told by the people who have not lived it, and the people who have lived the history are the ones who should be having the input. So I had to put down my nose to just speak from the heart. So I want to thank everybody for inviting the Outdoor Equity Alliance. We are thrilled to be here, and we want to do everything we can to promote racial justice. Thanks for that.
Thank you, and thank you, Lisa, for your partnership along with the Collaborative and the 15th Legislative District. We appreciate you. And now, before we close, we are going to have our esteemed, our hardworking, our visionary, our pit bull executive director, Latarsha Burke, come and bring greetings. She deserves that and so much more. I would ask you to stand, but Latarsha's not extra like that. But you know what? You stand for her because she has done a phenomenal, outstanding, exceptional job in planning. And while you're standing, I just want you to take a look. I'm going to point to him. But that gentleman in that blue shirt right there, the chief of staff for the 15th Legislative District, Ed Gittens, he is the man. And on a podcast the other night, I called him a pit bull. I don't remember saying it, but he said I said it, so I guess I said it. But if I said it, it was true. He is certainly a taskmaster, and he gets the job done. And he has been very supportive. We have learned so much from you during this process. You've been nothing but a gem. Verlina, you have a gem in Ed, and we appreciate you for your guidance. If anyone wants anything to eat as well, additional, please feel free to come up. And there's also dessert. While Latarsha is speaking, if you want to come up, she won't mind you doing that in the interest of time. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. We are here. It's Juneteenth weekend celebration. I've heard some amazing speeches this evening, but what I really want to emphasize is that this is not a one-woman show. This takes a great amount of people to bring something like this together. And I think, and I know, I believe I need to highlight my team. Patrick Hall, could you please stand up? Patrick Hall is a board member and logistics coordinator for the organization. He's been with us for about 4 years now. He is like my right-hand man. Like, all I have to do is pick up the phone, send a text message. Patrick is always available, and he overextends himself to make sure that everything goes smoothly. Even during this event, he was on Warren Street working. So we have Patrick Hall. Thank you, Patrick. We appreciate you. We have Aziz Bey. I'm not sure if he's still here. Aziz is here. Aziz and I met in 2013, and we've been working together ever since. He also serves on logistics and everything else. He is also available at a moment's notice, at a phone call, a text message. These men make themselves available to see this mission through. Helen Jones Walker. When I asked Helen Jones Walker to be the public relations chair, she was like, I don't know how to do that. I said, well, you're going to learn because I believe that you will be an amazing public relations chair, and she does an absolutely phenomenal job. Thank you, Helen. We also have Cheryl Thomas. Cheryl, stand up. Yes, Cheryl has been a part of the team for about, I think, 3 years now. She serves as the executive assistant. Cheryl is a pit bull on our team. She definitely says things and brings about points that we might not want to hear all the time, but she definitely keeps us on our toes. We have Sheila Golfin Glover, who had to leave a little early, but she serves as the treasurer for the organization. So, and Regina M. Jackson. Regina M. Jackson is the volunteer coordinator and board member for the organization. We've been doing this thing together since 2011. 10 years of partnership and friendship. And Regina, you know I love you. You know I appreciate you. Also, with this event, there were a number of committees that were formed in order to bring you Juneteenth weekend. And I want to speak about each one of those committees. So can the Legacy Stage committee members stand up? Who's here? Thank you, Kevin Hines. Thank you, Jazzy Mackay. Thank you, Tyrell Smith. Thank you, Cal O'Neill, for pulling together a full program schedule from 12 to 8 p.m. that will take place on Warren Street, our legacy stage. And we call it our legacy stage because we are passing the torch to these young adults. And so it was important for us to give them the opportunity to organize, to create their own plan. They had their own Zoom meetings. They had tryouts at Mill Hill Park. They were constantly in communication with each other. So thank you, Jazzy. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you to the team. You guys did an amazing job. We also have our Healthy Living Pavilion that is chaired by Mama Yoga, Samu A. Scott, and Injiri Jenkins of Food Corps. I've been knowing Samu for a number of years now, and anytime I call her, it's always just yes. There's no explanation of what you need, what you want. She is always on board, and because of Samut and Injiri, you will have about 25 different vendors and presentations and demonstrations in a healthy living experience that's going to be located on Lafayette Street. And next is our main stage. Tim Diop. He's our events chairperson. He works very hard with planning our entertainment for all of our events that's year round. And he did a phenomenal job with helping and getting these things organized on each and every stage. So thank you, Tim, for that. And then we have our Literacy Village. Our Literacy Village co-chair is Wanda Stansberry of Center for Child and Family Achievement. Wanda had formed a team that included the Trenton Board of Education, Yolanda Landy Robinson of Living a Powerful Life, the College of New Jersey Bonner Center. Everyone came together to ensure that Literacy Village is going to be an amazing time for our young people. And we also have Ivy Avery and Jocelyn White, who took lead on the storytelling events that's going to occur at our amphitheater in the park. So we look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. There's going to be so much activity. And I got to mention our host. I don't think we give, too much recognition to folks that can stand on stage all day and host an entire event from 12 to 8 p.m. So I'm going to speak about Kevin Hines. He will be doing that tomorrow, along with Jazzy. We have Crystal Feliciano in the back. She will be the host of our main stage. We have Craig Hayes that will be hosting our gospel celebration on Sunday, June the 20th. So again, thank you all. Thank you to my sponsors. I have loved getting to know you during this process, and I just hope you all have an amazing time this weekend. Thank you.
All right. Is Tennille still here to come up and close? Okay. So in her absence, I am going to close us out for the evening. I just want to give some final shout outs to our DJ. DJ, say what? Okay. And the pit bull.
I am really being a pit bull right now because I need everybody. I know you're still eating. I need everybody to stand up. I need you to stand up, please. This woman needs a round of applause. Amazing, amazing person to work with. Sometimes when you go into projects and you're working with somebody, they just drain your energy. In my life, I've worked with two people that give me energy and enthusiasm to work and get the work done. One being Assemblywoman Reynolds Jackson, who I work for and have been with for 9 years. The other one being this woman here, who I gave her first summer job back in college in 1991 as a freshman at Trenton State College. This woman is special, and we're already talking about how we can make this bigger and better next year. So thank you for all that you do, and it is a pleasure working with you, but don't call me on Monday. All right. And Helen, love you. Thanks for all you do.
Of course, it's been my pleasure. Don't call me on Monday either. So, Latasha already knows that. So, in addition to our DJ, we have to again thank our amazing caterers, ABC Dad Lights, and to our decorating team led by Tamara Smith with the assistance of Tanya Stewart. We thank you for making us feel so at home and comfortable in this setting. To all of our volunteers, we have volunteers from the young ones on up. None of this would have happened without them. Every chair cover that is on, every tablecloth that is down, we have volunteers to do that work. So nothing happens on tomorrow without our volunteer crew. We are a volunteer organization. Our entire board volunteers. So we do what we do from the heart. And it takes individuals in this city working along with us to also get that work done. So we certainly acknowledge and salute every one of our volunteers for all of their sacrifice, because this is not easy work. So we thank you all for coming. We look forward to seeing you on tomorrow. Again, I'm going to shout out our podcast crew who supported us. I see the number one host, Kevin Hines. We asked, they delivered, they had us on their shows. Annette Lartigue, Janabia Figueroa, she's still here? Okay, so to all of those who have made this possible, to our family and friends who support us, who tolerate us being in constant meetings and on Zoom calls and not available, we give a shout out. Mr. Burke is gone, and Latasha's family, they left early, but we thank him in case he hears this or sees this. To all of our families who support us. My mother's here. Thank you, Mom, for your support and guidance. Love you, appreciate you. All of our family and friends, everybody who's made this happen, let's get ready for tomorrow. Go home, get some rest, and we'll see you back downtown Trenton tomorrow as we celebrate Juneteenth. Thank you. Thank you, Tim. And to the staff here at the War Memorial Building, they have been phenomenal. Thank you. Fennell, you didn't hear me calling you? You didn't hear me calling you? All right. We see you, Mackenzie, one of our sponsors and volunteers. Thank you. And good night to all of our sponsors, too. Okay, we're gonna play a little music. We'll play a little music then. Okay, let's go.
check one. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to invite you up here to take some of these delicious donuts. It's the weekend. It's okay. You can get some carbs. So please, you can come up here and get some of these delicious and colorful cupcakes. Take them home to the kids. Aziz, we see you, Aziz. Check. Yeah. Check. One. Hey.